Did you know that events are one of the most powerful things you can do to bring clients into your business and to generate revenue? I'm your host, Carissa Karner, and today's guest, Shay Wheat, is the go-to expert on events. She is a certified event producer. She's creator of popular programs such as the Powerful Event Process, the Ultimate Event Planner Certification Program, and the CEO of Grace and Ease Productions Incorporated. Oh, I love that name. Grace and Ease Productions Incorporated, they support their clients in creating powerful and profitable events. So Shay's company produces in-person and live virtual events from 50 attendees all the way to 4,000 plus attendees. She's collaborated with many well-known celebrities like Dr. Oz, Lisa Nichols, and more. And she helps their clients, their speak to sell clients, be extremely profitable with their events. So recently, one of her clients generated over $2.1 million in one virtual live 3-day event. Incredible. And their clients have made over $24 million in revenue, gaining over 3,500 new clients and changing the lives of over 16,000 attendees. So incredible, Shay. I mean, just phenomenal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and connect with you and your audience.
Oh, I'm excited too, because you have so many gems to share. I'd love to start just with your story. How did you get into event producing? This is such a very particular area of this business. And how did you get here?
Yeah, I kind of feel I fell into it a little bit. So I was speaking on a stage. It was New Year, New You. And I was speaking about appreciation marketing. And so with it being a multi-speaker event, we were trading microphones back and forth. And so I was messing with the guy in front of me that had my microphone. And I'm like, hey, dude, don't go spitting on my mic. He's like, oh my gosh, you're hilarious. Who are you? And come to find out, he was like the head of education for Dr. Oz's nonprofit. I was like, oh, wow. I actually just met his sister at Maria Shriver's women's conference when she was the head of education, or sorry, the first lady of California. There were 14,000 tickets that sold out in 14 minutes for that conference. And I was like, I can't get a ticket. So I'm going to go and volunteer, and I'm going to go and be a part of it. And I'm going to do the behind the scenes because I want to be in the room. Right.
Wow. And that's incredible that you were so committed. I mean, you took action, you figured out a way that you could get there.
Everything is figure outable in my head. And that's part of like one of our pillars of our company is everything is figure outable. So I said, okay. And that's how I met her. And he was like, wait, hold on. She's best friends with our CEO and we're doing a women's conference. You should help us. And I said, okay. Yeah. And so that's how I was in charge of over 70 speakers and over 100 volunteers as my first role as an associate producer for an event.
Oh my goodness. And there's something in there that's so valuable that you just went for it. I mean, I think a lot of people would say, oh, I can't do that, or that's too scary. That's too big for my first foray into this. But you didn't do that. You just said, okay, yes, I'll do it.
Yep. You know, it goes along the lines of, saying yes, and everything is figure outable. And how can I? And if an opportunity is being presented, why not take a look at it and step into it? If I wouldn't think that I would be a horrible failure just because everything that I always do, I want to put 100% into it. But, there's things that happen. There's things that always happen in the world of events. It was an amazing learning opportunity. I met some fantastic people that ended up making connections for me years down the road that I didn't even know were going to happen. Same thing with meeting Dr. Oz's sister. Like that was years prior to that interaction on that stage.
Oh.
right? I didn't know me helping this woman out who, she had this boot cast on. I didn't know who she was. I just was helping her get to her table. Right. And she ended up being Dr. Oz's sister. And then she was like, you should stay and hang out with us. And I said, okay. Right. Like you just keep saying yes. And the universe, I feel, always provides.
Wow. This is a topic that's come up a lot on this show is how when you have a servant's heart, when you give from your heart, you show up to be of service.
Mm-hmm.
That is the foundation for growing your business, to come with that spirit of giving rather than what can I get. And how amazing that you showed up in a spirit of giving, of let me just help you to your table. And now it's carved the path for you to have this incredibly profitable business that helps so many people.
Exactly. Never would I ever imagine this is where it would have led me. I'm so thankful and blessed that it has, but I would have never guessed.
And did you just think, I love this? This is something I want to keep doing?
Yeah, it was like, I kind of have a knack for this. I'm kind of can figure this out. And of course, another opportunity presented itself, right? So I was on somebody's email list and they said, hey, if you come to this event, we'll teach you how to get speaking gigs in your own backyard and we'll help you figure out your niche and we'll help you figure out your business. And I said, if I don't do this, then what am I going to do? So I said yes to that. And they were like, oh, so not only are you an energetic healer and a Reiki master, but you also have this event background. So you can do the spiritual and you can do the logistics. Like that's a business that we can help craft for you. And so we started doing market research and all of those fun things to the point where they were like, so will you run our events for us?
Oh, synergy. Wow.
Yeah. And then, became pretty much completely referral based ever since. They just referred me to their friends just because of the way that we do it with grace and ease.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love the name of your business, Grace and Ease. Oh, when I hear those words, when I see those words, I immediately think, oh, this event is going to be full of grace and ease because I've hired Shay's company. I mean, it's so perfect.
Right. It just automatically kind of, hopefully the intention is like puts a little bubble around us, right? Where it's like, okay, we've got you. We've got your back. We know how to help move you forward. We know the strategies. We know all of the logistics. I need you to stay in your genius zone and do what you do best. Let me do what I do best. And then it becomes like this yin and yang type of thing. You're front of the room, I'm back of the room. And we create this container for transformation to occur for your attendees.
Wow. I'm just taking that in. I mean, what a perfect puzzle piece of fitting together. If you're listening, you can't see what Shay's hands did, and my hands are doing that, but she did her hands coming together in that yin and yang. And that's exactly what it sounds like when you work with Shay, that you have this experience of being so supported and so held so that you can do what you do best.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So speaking of that, I would love to hear more. You have so many powerful pieces of value to share, and you talk about business being in different phases and how different events may be appropriate for different phases of business. Would you share more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, depending on where you're at in your business, you should be utilizing different types of events. So there's actually 17 different types of events that you can be using in your business. And I don't know if you realize, 17 different types. I'm sure there's probably more, but that's like how many I kind of jotted down and was like, that's quite a few, right? So it's like 90-minute workshops, summits, retreats, masterminds, 1-day sales and enrollment events, 3-day sales and enrollment events. You've got seminars and podcasts. Meetup is also an event. Facebook Lives are events. Instagram Lives, Clubhouse rooms, conferences, challenges, hackathons, conventions, trade shows, right? That's just the 17 that I could, just jot down real quickly. But based on where you're at, you should be doing certain types of events. And so that's where the phases of event leverage kind of come in. So phase one is the validation phase. This phase is where you are really looking to validate things, validate your offer, validate who it is you're serving, making sure that you get them crazy awesome results, right? This is more if you're starting out, you're doing that market research. In order to move into phase two, you want to make sure that you have about 8 to 10 full paying clients. Then it's like, okay, great. We can move on. We now know and validated that how we serve people, they will actually pay to say, yes, I want you to get me crazy awesome results, right? Mm-hmm. Phase two is visibility. So now our primary goal is to get visible in the marketplace. However, we may not have a whole lot of cash flow yet. Okay. So this is where your free platforms are coming into play. You're doing your Facebook Lives, you're doing your Clubhouse rooms, you're doing your Instagrams, you're being a guest on other people's stages. So you're a guest on somebody else's webinar, somebody else's podcast, on somebody else's summit. You're starting to play with being a speaker sponsor. And what I mean by a speaker sponsor is you are going to somebody else's event who has your audience is your ideal client. Okay. But the person putting on the event is not doing the same thing you're doing. They're either right before you or right after you, or they're sidelined to you. And when I say sideline, for example, if I was hosting an event, a great speaker sponsor for me would be an AV company, because I do event production and they're sidelined to me. I don't do the AV, but we both serve the same audience. Okay. So that's something to take a look at. And you're in phase two in order to get more leads, book more strategy calls, have more conversations, make more offers to the point where you're about $5,000 a month consistently in your business.
This is so important because I think, and you and I even talked about this the other day, that people often will try and jump the gun, that they'll try and do events that don't match where they are in their business. And what I'm hearing you say in this phase two, that it's so important to kind of meet yourself where you're at, that
Yes.
You're not making a huge revenue in your business yet. And so to take advantage of all of these incredible free platforms that are available and to do it strategically. I talk a lot about speaking strategically with my clients, and you're really speaking to that here of choosing if you're going to go and speak, say at a summit, or you're going to go and speak on a podcast, you want to choose who you're doing that with strategically.
Absolutely. Yes. Everything we do, we need to have some strategy to it, right? And we also need to be making sure that we actually have an offer strategy as a part of it as well. Now, our offer doesn't necessarily have to be a paid offer or an invitation. It can be a free one, right? But it's what is the intention of the event? So if you're doing your Facebook Lives, you're doing your Instagrams, what is the intention of it? Are you looking to build community? Are you looking to build people to consistently come on? Are you looking to build your Facebook group? And your call to action is to join your Facebook group where you can continue to connect with them, or give your free lead magnet so you're growing your email list. You want to be strategic in how you are utilizing these events and these platforms to support the growth of your business. So overall, you can really support your audience and your avatar with the pain that they're in. That's really what it comes down to.
Wow. That is so incredibly valuable. Everything you just said. And having that clear call to action, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't know why, your intention is not clear of why you're going to go and do this podcast, why you're going to go and do this summit, why you're going to step on this stage, then you may not even know which call to action, or you may forget to give a call to action, or you may give too many calls to action. And then it won't be as powerful for you, and it's not going to generate what you want it to generate.
Exactly. And then you're doing them as the audience a disservice.
Yes.
Right? Like they're showing up because they're excited to hear what it is that you have to say. They have, some pain that you can solve for them. But if you don't give them an opportunity to continue to possibly work with you, I see that as a disservice. So sales is service.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And when you do provide that value, people so often they want to take you with them. They don't want this to be the end of the relationship, and that you're not giving them that gift if you don't allow them to continue to be connected with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, spot on. You've got it.
Okay, so that's stage 2, phase 2.
Yep.
Anything else about that?
Phase 2, you're now looking to, get closer to moving to 3. So that's where you're going to be making that a consistent $5,000 a month. And then you're moving into phase 3. And in phase 3 is grow. So in the grow phase, we're looking to do just that. Grow your list and increase your visibility by creating your own stages. Okay. So you're hosting your own masterclasses, your own webinars, your own summits. You're looking to continue to obtain those larger speaker sponsorships as well. So this is where I was saying, of the 17 different types of events, that's the 90-minute workshop is a masterclass, right? So in grow phase, your objective, get more leads, book more strategy calls, have more conversations, until you end up reaching the goal of about $10,000 a month consistently. And the reason I kind of have some of these dollar amounts in here is I haven't personally seen, how do I know when I'm moving from stage to stage, right? And, you could be at $9,876. Okay, great. You can start looking at phase 4 stuff, right? It doesn't have to be absolutely $10,000, but it's just to kind of give yourself a little bit of a framework to really support you in going, I'm in this phase. I need to rock out this phase. I'm not needing to take a look at doing 1-day events and doing 3-day events and doing these crazy launches and things like that. If I don't have the team, if I don't have the money, if I don't have the structure, if I don't have my offers locked in, if I haven't finalized how I move them through my process, right? That's why we have set up these stages to really support you in growing your business strategically. Okay.
It's so strategic. I love how you've laid this out, because I know for myself, I've been in that place as an entrepreneur where it's like, I should be doing this and this and this and this. But what happens is that you're pulling from all these different stages instead of focusing on the stage you're in. And the way that you have laid this out so clearly, it gives people the ability to just focus on what they need at that stage instead of feeling so overwhelmed, like you just have to do everything.
Right. Well, and, social media, we see all of these people doing all of these different things. And you're like, well, that's the new hot thing. Like, I need to be doing challenges, or I need to be doing summits. And if you're not you're comparing yourself to somebody else's phase in event leverage, right? They're in 4, they're in 5, they're supposed to be doing those things right now. If you're in phase 3, rock out phase 3. And then start bringing in these different levels, because at each level, you've got an increase in your budget, your team cost, your list needs to be able to support you. Your contacts need to be able to support you. You have to be able to fill the rooms appropriately. And that's another kind of stealth transformation that we've put these phases in place, is because we want you to build it like this. So by the time you get to 4 and 5, you're like, okay, it's not as hard as other people have said it is to fill the room.
Oh, wow. That makes so much sense. You know what I feel as you're describing this? I feel grace and ease.
Yay. I'm so excited for that.
There is such a feeling of grace and ease here, because that it simplifies things. It's like, stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane. You don't have to worry about another lane. You don't have to get into the fast lane. And the beautiful thing is what you just described is then when you get to phase 4 and phase 5, you have everything you need. You have the resources that you need on all levels for that to be successful and feel good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a natural progression. And it doesn't mean you can't progress through the phases quickly. You can, you absolutely can. If you are somebody that's like, I want to get to phase 3 as fast as I possibly can, great. You can easily do that. It's just, how many conversations do you want to have? How many times are you going to want to tweak and adjust what your offering is? You're listening to your clients. You're getting them crazy awesome results. They're going to constantly be giving you market research feedback, right? Always listen to your clients, because they'll be like, so why does your program not have this in it? And you're like, that's a good idea. I'm adding that in. You're right. It deserves to, right? So listen to your clients. They're going to tell you what they want. You just need to listen and turn around and deliver that to them.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that was are they phases or stages? Are they
phase 3 was
phase
grow.
3? That was phase 3. And then what does phase 4 look like?
So phase 4 is scale. In phase 4, you're looking to scale your business and scale your systems to $20,000 a month and beyond. Okay. We're looking to really take those one-on-one sales conversations that you've been doing and do one to many. So in order to do the events that go from one-on-one to one to many is a 1-day sales and enrollment event, retreats, and workshops. Okay. Also, at this point, you are looking to continue to grow your team in supporting you and supporting your clients. Okay. Because if you're the one out there really connecting and bringing in the audience, you need to have somebody that's actually behind the scenes supporting you on what it is that you're doing, so you can have more leads, you can fill your events, you can fill your programs with ease. So that's why we have phase 4 is all about scale and bringing on more team to support you so that you can continue to do what you do best, which is connecting with your audience.
I see. And is that a phase where then someone would look to you and your company to come in and support them?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. If you're looking to do a 1-day enrollment event, we have clients that will do once a quarter, they'll do a 1-day event. And it doesn't have to be crazy big, right? It can be 50 people in a room. And you can be offering a lower level ticket price, your $3,000, $4,000 program. 50 people in the room. Let me just do a little bit of math. If you have a conversion rate of 20% of 50 people in the room, that's 10 people that are saying yes. If you have a $3,000 program, that's $30,000 for a 1-day event.
Wow. And I can see how bringing in you and your team can make such a difference, because one, you're not totally spread too thin and exhausted. So you're going to be able to show up in your genius. You're going to be able to do what you do best. Everything that your team brings to the table, I can just imagine that the amount of people that show up and the amount of people that actually end up buying is so much higher because you and your team are there supporting.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also the power of smaller events too, right? You get to have a lot more engagement with them. You get to have smaller kind of retreat like workshops or breakouts with them within your 1-day event itself. It kind of becomes a nice little community. And then people get to experience what it's like to actually stay with you and be in your program. Right? Because it's going to be that nice, small, intimate, high touch, high experiential with you. And so that's what we do in our events is we help you craft creating the event experience so that your audience gets a taste of what it's like to be with you long term. And I think that's important too.
Yeah. And will you tell me a little bit about what all does your company do? Like if I were going to put on a 1-day event, how would you be helping me?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, we're going to want to ask you, what the heck is your vision?
Yes, very important.
Very important. That's the first call that we end up doing. What is the vision? What is the goal? What is the intention? And what is the event promise? So for all of my clients, they must have an event promise. Whether or not people do business with you coming to your event, I want them walking away with some type of value. That's really, really important to us. So that's kind of a must for my clients as well. From there, we're going to take a look at what does your team look like? What kind of team do I need to bring in extra to support you? Are we doing a virtual event? Are we doing an in-person event? If we're doing a virtual event, we can do it either in your home office, or we can create a studio. We can create what's called dashboards, and that is like a virtual hub for the attendees. So we don't just do like a Zoom meeting. We create an experience for your audience. From the time that they sign up, we're going to be asking you, do you have your emails? What is your stick strategy? How are you making sure once they get a ticket, they actually show up to the event? What is the registration process? Like, we help craft all of those details for you. They come through the dashboard, they sign the media release. These are all things that you need to kind of safeguard your business, right? And then once they land on the dashboard, they've got the link to the Zoom room. They've got links to your, emoji sticks or your Zoom backgrounds or the playlist, whatever it is you're looking to give them is all on that hub. And we create that. It's kind of like a really amazing website that houses everything for your event. So we create all of those details for you. And then we also take a look at your run a show, your swag, your marketing materials, the team. How are you enrolling people into your programs? What is your program? I've actually taken a look at clients' programs and said, wait, hold on. This doesn't make sense. Like, especially for our 3-day events. I had somebody come to me and go, oh yeah, I'm looking to sell my, $6,000 program in a 3-day event. And I said, that doesn't make any sense. If you're doing a 3-day event, you need to be offering a high ticket program. Otherwise, there's no point in us doing a 3-day event. We need to take a look at a 1-day, and so I'm strategically looking at what is going to make you the most money, and support the most people and hit the goals that you have as a company and as an individual, right? So we're taking a look at all the logistics behind the scenes to make it so you just show up once it's time for the event and shine.
So amazing. You're saying things, and there's little check boxes in my head of, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. Oh, wouldn't have thought of that. Wouldn't have known to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The value that you bring it has so many layers to it.
Thank you.
So many layers to it. And I love this hub, this container.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? A bubble
that
exactly. You surround the event with, to make it an experience, to make it a wonderful experience for the person who's putting on the event and for every single person who attends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds magical.
I like to think they're magical. Yeah, we get to play in the magical bubbles.
Yes. Okay, so that's stage 4. And then what does stage 5 look like?
Stage 5 is leverage. So really, in this stage, you are looking to stay in your zone of genius and just continue to grow your client base. Okay. You're looking to accomplish that by delegating to your team and really using the established systems to leverage your time. So this is also a location where you're going to start crafting and creating your own 3-day sales and enrollment events, and to really kind of create that community of raving fans. You're also offering your high ticket programs on that one-to-many model. Mm-hmm. Now, even though you're in phase 5 at this point, doesn't mean you still don't do the master classes and the summits and those things from phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, because those are still lead gen opportunity events that then can move into sell tickets into your 3-day event. Mm-hmm. So we utilize events as a part of your entire business plan.
That makes so much sense. So it's almost like, I think of like an onion, that you're adding layers on. You're not just moving from one phase to another, but you're building. Each phase is building upon itself.
Absolutely. Yep. And because you mastered that phase earlier on, that's why you can still do the summits and you can still do the master classes and the lead gen type of events while you're building in a 3-day sales and enrollment event, right? You're now utilizing them instead of selling into a strategy session. You're now selling a ticket to your event. And then at your 3-day event, you're selling into your high ticket offer. And then you get to, play with all of your new clients and fulfill upon what it is that they just purchased with you in your program.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So there are strategic changes along the way, even though you're still utilizing everything, all the events from each phase.
Exactly.
Strategic shifts. Uh-huh.
Yeah, perfect.
Wow, this is so helpful. And I can imagine if you're listening that you may be thinking, oh, what stage am I in? And hopefully this will help you to get more clarity about where to put your focus, and which events are most aligned with what stage you're in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So much so, like, you could probably only get so much. And I know everyone's probably like writing crazy, awesome notes right now. And I figured they probably would be. So we actually wrote all this down for everybody. We've created, a flow chart. We've created like, this is what you do in this phase. And if it works for you, I have that as a gift for your audience. They could just download it and see easily what phase they're in.
Oh, what an incredible gift. So where can we find that? I'm going to go right after this and go check it out. Where can we find it?
Yeah, if you simply go to 5phases.info, and that's spelling out the word 5, F-I-V-E, 5phases.info/success. And that's going to be the best place for them to go ahead and download and print it out, take a look at what phase you're in, put it up on your wall, get your goals situated on how you move from phase to phase to phase.
Oh, that's incredible. What an incredible gift. I know if I were not here in this interview, I would be furiously scribbling notes. And this would be so helpful to know that there is something that makes it all so clear. It makes me think of that hub that you create, that it's another way of, everything can be just full of ease and grace, and it can be right there for you to see. I love that. Absolutely love that. And then too, you'll know when you download that, you print it out and you look at it and you start to get clarity about where you are, what phase you're in, you'll know exactly when it's time to reach out to Shay and bring her in to support you with your events.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I was connecting with some people the other day who had just downloaded it, and we had like a Q&A call afterwards for a different program that I'm supporting one of my clients with. They brought me in as a guest speaker. And they were like, I just feel so much better realizing the phase that I'm in now and not having to worry about all the other things that are happening. I have a roadmap now of I just need to do this to get to the next phase and this to get to the next phase and so on and so forth. And they were like, that was just so comforting to know, and just felt so good in my body that I could go, all right, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I have a knowledge on how to get to the next phase.
Oh, beautiful. That is gold. That is so valuable for an entrepreneur. So valuable for an entrepreneur. So as we're wrapping up, if there was one thing that you want a listener to take away today, what would that be?
Well, I would say everything is figure outable. And so when opportunities present themselves, say yes, lean into it, and see what the gifts are that the universe is looking to provide for you. Because it might be the one thing that changes your world forever.
Woo! Wow. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for coming on the show. It has been an honor, a delight, full of value. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I've had so much fun.
Oh, I'm so glad. And we'll see you on the next episode.